If you're interested in learning how to make delicious, perfect consistency grits in your Ninja Combi, along with some lovely, delicious egg muffins and sausage, so you can have a little twist and make some breakfast in your combi, join me and we can make it together. So today I'm going to be making some breakfast in the combi, and I'm actually going to be making some grits. So if you already have a combi and you're familiar with your build your combi meal little sheet, like a little cheat sheet that they gave you in the box, as pick a base, pick your vegetable, pick your protein, and then you start cooking, and it lists some cooking time suggested. And so of course that would make you think, this is dinner, right? But you can make breakfast in your combi, and I've made it a couple of different times. Truth be told, I've never even made grits until I got my combi, because I'm not huge on grits. I like them, but I don't love them. I actually prefer having either oatmeal or rice, but my husband loves grits, and so he makes grits. I make oatmeal or rice. So the combi, I was just like, I'm curious if I can make grits in this, because I'd always been told grits, you have to be very specific. You've got to stand over the stove and stir them continuously so that they don't start popping and making big messes and whatnot. And I personally, I'm kind of a lazy cook. If I'm being honest, like, I like my food to taste good, so I'm going to season it and I'm going to cook it to the right temperatures, but that's what you're going to get. Like, these meals that take hours and hours and hours are not anything that I'm really interested in. I would love to eat them, but I don't want to make them. So that's why I got the combi in the first place. It's because I don't want to have to think about things way in advance. And I can go pull chicken out of the freezer and get dinner started and have a wonderful meal inside of 30 minutes for my family. So that's why I bought the combi, and the combi is absolutely amazing. But now we're going to flip it up a little bit, flip that switch and switch things up. We are going to make breakfast in the combi. So I'm going to make turkey sausage, which I'm actually going to add in later, because turkey sausage, of course, doesn't have as much fat as like the sausage with pork and stuff like that in it. So I don't want it to overcook and burn. So I'm going to actually add it later, so it doesn't have the time of heating up with the steam and all of that. And then it'll be nice and hot when we're done with everything else. And then I'm going to make eggs. And with the eggs, I'm going to whip them up and put them in little cups and put them on the top, level 2 on the tray with the sausage. And then, of course, the grits are going to go in the combi pan on level 1. And I'm going to give them a stir halfway through when I add in the sausage. So that is what we're going to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Stay tuned. All right, so I have actually measured out 1.5 cups of grits, and I'm going to go ahead and add those to my combi pan. So level 1, combi pan, and we're going to go ahead and add in the grits. Dry measure, of course. I had someone who I think got a little confused with dry measure versus liquid measure, so we'll do dry measure. And I actually want the grits to be a little creamier, so I'm going to put in 1/3 of the liquid is going to be milk. So I use my kids' milk, which is whole milk. And then the other 2/3 will be water. So 1.5 cups of grits will call for 6 cups of liquid. So 6 cups of water, because it's 1:4 is the ratio for grits to water. Instead of like 1:2 for rice. So again, it's not listed on the combi instructions, so I'm just letting you know it's like the same as you would if you were making grits on the stove, I guess, because that's where I originally looked it up. And I noticed that the rice ratio in the combi is the same. So I'm assuming, well, I know that it works. So we use this. Now, I will say that the very first time that I made the grits ever in life, and also in the combi, was a bit disastrous. Like, I'm going to tell you the truth. Because I made too much. I put 2 cups of dry measure grits, and then I put, 8 cups of water. And, the combi the pan can hold, I think it's 8 cups, if I'm not mistaken. It might be more than that. I'd have to look it up for sure. But the point is, technically it all fit, but again, I've never made grits. So I wasn't adding in the I wasn't calculating the fact that I was going to need space for it to grow and bubble over. Genius, right? So can you count the error? Can you guess the mess that I had? Guess the mess. Yes, it was a big mess. And it bubbled over and it was just a hot mess. And I was like, all I could do was laugh because I was like, wow, that was really dumb. Fail. And I was like, dang, I wish I had recorded this so I could show people what not to do when they're using their combi, especially if they're making grits. But anywho, I went on ahead, got it cleaned up, and everything was good. Now, I will say, I couldn't be too mad because combi's pretty easy to clean. So at least it wasn't like some big, huge mess. But yeah, when you do it, I would suggest you don't cook more than 1.5 cups of grits because then that allows you to have space for your necessary 6 cups of liquid without having the big bubble over. So I made it again. I've made grits again one other time since then, and they came out perfect and I didn't have an issue. Now I will say that I did stop in the middle of the cooking to go ahead and give it a stir. And I did that because I was making sausage with it and I needed to take the sausage out because the sausage was starting to overcook. So that's the reason I'm going to add the sausage this time later. So that way it doesn't do any cooking because the sausage, it's turkey, smoked sausage. The turkey, doesn't have enough fat. And then also it's already cooked. It's fully cooked. So all you need to do is heat it so you can eat it. So really, I don't need all of that extra time. So we're just going to add it in towards the back end so that it's just good enough to get warmed up, get some nice browning, and then we will eat it all together. And that way everything will still be very warm as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get my eggs cracked. We'll whip them up, put them into the little silicone baking cups. So you use these for all kinds of things. I've used them when I'm doing like meal prepping. I will use them sometimes for like sauces that I'll put into the big container, or if I have like little things that I don't want to mix in, like raisins and like things that I want to stay dry, or I don't want it to get mixed into the juices of whatever else is in the container, but I also don't want to take another container, then I will use these. But anyway, I use them for baking. We make, matter of fact, my oldest son just asked me if we can make some more oatmeal muffins. And I was like, I was thinking about that earlier this week. So I guess it's time to make them some oatmeal muffins. And we'll go from there. So I'm just going to fill this up like halfway, and that way the sausage can go on the other side. I'll probably scoot them a little bit closer. But all I'm doing literally with this is I'm going to, don't mind me, I like colors to be to be in different patterns. Yeah, I am going to whip them up, season them, and then add in a little bit of baking powder. And then I will go ahead and don't mind me, seriously. I don't know. There's something a little bit strange, but that's okay. I live in my strangeness. Proud to be weird. But anyway, yeah. So I'm just going to, last time I made these, I did spray just a little bit of like cooking spray in just the bottom of these, just so they don't get like stuck all up in the ridges. Cause these sometimes are annoying to clean. They're easier if you like put them in a basin of, warm water with soap, and then you can easily like loosen it up. But otherwise, you kind of got to get between the grooves and crevices. I will be honest, like that is the only thing that I do. Like, I don't really want to use those because of that. But overall, they're really, really awesome. So I can't complain about that. So I'm going to just use the top, one half of the pan for this, and then the other half of the pan will be for the sausage. It's just me and the kids today, so 1.5 cups of grits is good, and just 8 little egg muffins, if you will be good. And to make these 8, I'm probably only going to use 6 eggs because then I'm going to add in a little bit of milk, and like I said, a little baking powder as well. And that's another issue. I made these before. Child, another another disaster occurred because I made them like too fluffy. And then like, I poured it in. I'm like, oh, there's a little more space. I pour a little more in because I still had more eggs, but I didn't have any extra containers to put them in or any, I didn't have space to put extra cups. So I just kept filling them up. Yeah, that was, it was comical. It really was, but it was also a bit disastrous. So I had to like cut the tops off of the egg muffins. It was like a whole mess, but it's how we learn, right? And so I'm going to tell you not to do that. Don't overfill your muffin cups and don't use like too many eggs either. There's only the 5 of us here this morning, so I'm just cooking for the 5 of us. So 8 of these, 6 eggs should be more than enough. And even if they aren't big and fluffy, we're okay with that because we just need them to taste good and to have our bellies filled. So anyway, I'm gonna get the eggs whipped up, get those in there, and then we'll get cooking. All right, so I got a little baking powder. Probably wise to use a measuring device because I know myself. I'll try to like put it in there and then be like, oh my God, that's way too much. So I have a 1/8 teaspoon here. I'm not using all of that. I'm probably using about a half. So that would be like 1/16 of a teaspoon. Okay, so I have my eggs all cracked. I washed my hands and I'm gonna season my eggs and then get them all whipped up. So I'm gonna just do some fresh cracked black pepper. And we'll then put in some garlic, salt, onion, a little bit of paprika. This is garlic. And this is some garlic salt. And I usually just do garlic salt. I don't add in regular salt. And then I Mrs. Dash the onion and herb. Love that one for eggs. A little bit more onion. Little. And then, like I said, a little paprika. All right. And then, oh, I did forget the baking powder. So I will grab that in a minute. Let me just break up these yolks, start incorporating this. And I like to I like to use a glass container when I'm doing my eggs if I'm making a lot of them because I do not crack eggs pretty. I don't. And so sometimes they're shells and I don't want anyone having shells. I can't be made fun of. So I like to do glass so that I can be like, are there any? Oh, there's a shell. And then I can easily get it out. Let me grab the baking powder. Splash of milk. I'm saying splash. It's probably more like about 2 tablespoons, about an ounce of milk. But yeah, like I said, the last time I made these, they tasted great. The consistency was wonderful. They were nice and fluffy and delicious, but the tops were burned on some of them because they, they had high aspirations. They were reaching for the sky and they met the coils. There was a ceiling. It wasn't glass, but there was a ceiling. And so I don't want to repeat that. And if I do end up with too much, then that's going to be okay. We're not going to stress over it. We can always add a few more cups and then just minimize the sausage. Because again, it is just me and the kids. So we are going to have extra sausage. I'm a person, I like to just cook it all and then have leftovers than to have to cook multiple times. Because why? Right? Work smarter, not harder. All right, I might have went too high on that one, but we'll see. I'm gonna try to keep them all at like 2/3. Ooh. This is awkward. I don't know why I'm pouring it this way. All right. So just pouring them all in. That one I went too high. Hopefully it won't reach for the sky. And yeah, so I still have extra. This probably is enough for one other one. I don't want to make my same mistake as last time, so I'm going to get one more of these. Done dripping. All right, so I will get one more. It's going to be a different color. Oh, let's go for my favorite color. We'll go for orange. This is my favorite color. Now it's more like turquoise, salmon, coral. Ooh, got a little bit more than enough for one. Okay, so I am gonna get one more cup. And look at that, I used 6 eggs and now I'm gonna end up with 10 cups. So now I feel a lot more comfortable with this. So with this, we are gonna stay on the combi cooker side. We're gonna select a combi meal, right? And we're gonna take our temperature down to 375. And then I'm going to select the time. It should be like 15 minutes. That should be good. And like I said, about halfway through, I'm going to pause it or just open it up. There's no pause. Yeah, there's no pause. I will say, if you press stop, it stops. Like it's not a pause. If you need to pause, you're gonna want to open, but then be careful when you're opening. So you don't want to like just fly it open because then you'll make mistakes and hot water and steam condensation will go flying everywhere. I wonder how I know. So you will want to, what I do all the time is I just open it very slightly, let it rest for a few seconds so the condensation can be like, oh, the door's open, like let's chill and settle somewhere. And then I open the door all the way. So I will say that, make sure you do that so you don't harm yourself or, make a mess that you have to clean up, because nobody wants to clean up more than they have to. Except those people who do. I'm not one of them. So I guess, yeah, there are people who like to clean and they enjoy cleaning up messes. They make messes so that they can clean them up. And, blessings to those people. Sometimes I wish I could have that desire, but I don't. So I try to minimize my messes so that I don't have to do as much cleaning. Anywho, gonna get this started and we're gonna press start. And as we hear our lovely sound, that makes me happy every time because I know we're getting started and we're going to enjoy our meal. I have yet to have a meal that I made in the combi that I didn't like a lot. I'm not going to lie and be like, I've loved every single thing. But the things that I didn't love were user error. They were things that either I didn't add a specific season that I usually use, and then I'm like, oh, I should have used that seasoning, or I'm trying something out and then it's like, like let's not do that one again. But it's not that they're not good, they're just not great. And I'm the person like, I like great when I'm eating. Like I want my food to be great. Okay to me is like not necessary in life. Like I want to enjoy when I'm eating. Like I know some people say it's all about fuel, food is fuel. This is true. Of course it is. And if I had that mentality, I probably would be in shape. As the joke goes, I am in a shape. Round is a shape, but I'm but I'm working on it seriously, just for my health, purposes. But overall, I would say I've always been a foodie. Like I love food in general, but patience is not one of my strong points when it comes to things just for me. Like for me, I can be really patient with my kids, and I can be really, really, really incredibly patient with like my patients and other people that I'm interacting with. I just don't have that patience for myself. And that's probably because I use up all my patience on other people. So I'm like, Yeah, no, it's long enough. Let's get this going. Let's keep it moving. So anyway, yeah, I'm working on health for me, and so some things that I am doing is prepping the meals and getting things like ready, and also just making better choices and like having snacks available because that of course you need things to be readily available if you're gonna make good decisions, especially if you are a person who lives a busy life, like a mom of four who works full time. So um, that's exactly what we're going to do. I will come back and show you the finished product. But I hope that you guys love this and that you will try making grits in your Ninja Combi as well, because it's delicious. Okay, I wanted to show you this real quick. We're already cooking too high. I wanted to show you this time since I was recording. Our eggs are getting too friendly with the ceiling. So, okay, well, at least this time I caught it. So you've got one. Looks like this is the only one, and the other ones are browning too much. But this one actually touched the coils. So, I don't know. It might actually be done enough. Look, it's pulling away already. This might be done enough. How about that? Anywho, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, they're all pulling away. So that's pretty impressive. We're only a few minutes in. I'm going to take these out, and because I don't want them to overcook. And of course, I don't want to have to clean the coils and all of that. I'll go ahead and give the grits a stir, let them cook a little bit longer, and then I'll open it back up to add in the sausage in a little bit. So yes, I can touch these because it's silicone. So it's not like super hot. As you see, 10 minutes and 23 seconds is when I stopped it. So we hadn't even had a full 5 minutes of cooking. Now, granted, we had about 5 minutes of steam building time. So that means that the eggs did cook for about 10 minutes in total, almost, like 9.5 minutes. And so I might, next time I make these, either use a lower temperature than the 375, or I might add the eggs in later as well. And then maybe even make something else with it, like some bell peppers and onions, because I personally like that. The kids, they'll eat it in a burrito bowl or in a burrito for the ones who like burritos, but like to just put some bell peppers and onions on their plate, they'd be like, do I have to eat that? So anyway, that's probably what I will try next time. Either one or maybe both. I might lower the temperature and put them in at different times as well. Like maybe I can cook up the sausage and the eggs later in the cycle. And prior to that, I can do the bell peppers and onions, depending on how much space I have. But we'll see. But anyway, I wanted to show you this time, like, what I meant by they're reaching for the sky and getting meeting the ceiling. All right, gonna keep cooking our grits so I can show you how amazing they come out and convince you to make some grits in your combi too. Okay, so we have our finished bell, and just in case you're not familiar with the combi, once it's finished, it will start blinking 390 degrees, which is like the default temperature. Like after it says off or finished, done, what I don't remember what the words say because I don't usually look at it. I just listen to the sound and then like go grab my mittens and whatnot. So that smells good. Anywho, so that, yeah, I did not cook it on 390 degrees. It just automatically reset to that. So let's get everything out. Let's get our grits out. Yeah, baby. Looking good. Hi, honey. Are you hungry? All right, we'll go get dressed. And then you can eat. Or at least go brush. Did you brush your teeth? Go brush your teeth and wash your face. That's what you're supposed to do when you wake up. All right, so we've got our sausage. Looks good. Now, I don't know how you guys like your grits, but for me, like that's the good consistency. That's how I like it. I like it to be. Okay, so I put some water in the pan. I'm not gonna bother cleaning it because it takes too much time. Right now, all I'm gonna do is I'm putting that in there solely so that we can satisfy the need for there to be the pan in the bottom. And I forgot, I knew that because the combi won't work unless that little button is pressed down. You can only do that with the pan. I just wasn't thinking. I don't think I said. I'm tired. I'm very tired. I went to bed way too late last night and then I got up way too early and couldn't go back to sleep. So here we are making breakfast. So anyway, so I'm going to try toast it dark, and we're going to press start and we're going to let it do its thing. See how it goes. I don't know. Like I said, normally I would choose broil, but I'm just going to try this out and see how it goes. Because all I'm trying to do literally is get the sausage to be a little more brown, really. Because we don't need to cook it. It's already cooked. We just got to heat it and eat it. But I like it to look more browned, personally. Anyway, I'm going to let it do a few minutes of this. Once I start seeing it get brown, I'll pull it out and get everything plated and eat. All right, so I'm back. I took the sausage out. It didn't do a whole lot on the toast function, I will say. It did start to make them curl up a little bit, and it's fine, but it might also be because it's turkey sausage, so but it's going to be just fine for our purposes. But we will go ahead and just get a plate, and we'll have our little egg patties. Actually, I'll probably put that for my kids. Put that on top. So you see our grits. I'm making breakfast. Hi, princess. No, it's all done. But you can eat. Go wash your hands. You already washed your hands? Okay. Okay, so this will be one of the plates for my kids. They'll have their two little egg bites and their sausage with their grits. And the only question is, how do you do your grits? That's the great debate. Sugar? Salt and pepper? Nothing? For my kids, I'm going to start them off with nothing because we already have butter, and I'm putting their eggs on top. So they'll be more of a savory. If any of them request sugar, however, they can have it. I'm from the north. My husband's from the south. Sugar or salt and pepper? The great debate. Let me know in the comments how you make your grits. And also, if you're going to try making grits in the combi. Thanks for watching. See you next time.